It Chapter 2 is directed by Andy Muschietti and takes place 27 years after It Chapter 1 and tells the story of the adult losers played here by James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, James Ransone, Bill Hader, and the Old Spice guy. Also reprising his role as Pennywise the Clown is Bill Skarsgård. Pennywise returns to Derry 27 years later, and the Losers Club has to go and fight him, based on a promise that they had made when they were children. So I am a huge fan of It Chapter 1. I thought it was incredible. I like the original It as well, the TV series, the miniseries. I think that that's really good up until the point where they're adults, so you can understand my worry going into this half of the story. Even with Andy Muschietti directing, I was still scared that this material wouldn't be strong enough to hold a movie, and a lot of my fears were unfortunately confirmed, but I do think that this is substantially better than the second half of the miniseries from the original It, and I have never read the book, so not much to go off of when it comes to the source material for this story. I will start with the positives. I think that the adult cast here is fantastic. I think they all turn in incredible performances, and they feel like the organic adults to these kids that we had seen in the first It, which, by the way, that cast is back in this film as well to give us flashbacks. Unfortunately, the flashback scenes in this film are very, very muddled, and I don't like them at all, except for maybe one that I think was significant. But it still somehow all lands into a good structure. One of the things that I'll give Muschietti is he still managed to keep the structure going throughout this film, and he's a good director for that. The standout actor in this film, the standout performance, is definitely Bill Skarsgård once again. I think he does incredible things as Pennywise. He taps into this character pretty deeply. I don't understand how he does it. Bill Hader and James Ransone are definitely standouts in this film. I think that what they do is amazing. I think they have incredible chemistry, and it is almost their story. Bill Hader especially turns in what I would call an incredible performance from him, and I was very happy to see that. I want Bill Hader to succeed. He's somebody I've always been a fan of. But the standout performance in this film is once again, just like It Chapter 1, Bill Skarsgård. I love what he does with Pennywise. He is incredibly creepy to watch, and he really dives deep into this character. And I like that he's even trying new things moving into this film, although there are not too many new elements to Pennywise. He still does do new things within his performance. For those of you who don't know, this is a 3-hour film, which should not matter. If the content being delivered is great, then the movie shouldn't feel like it's long. This one, unfortunately, does feel like it's long, and you can really start to feel the runtime right in the middle of the movie. And I think the first hour of this movie is actually really good. It gives us a lot of great character setup up until one moment of the first hour, which I thought was a little far-fetched, and I won't give away here, obviously, but it's one of the better parts of the film. And the second hour is where I think this movie actually really falls apart in a lot of ways, because they try to cram so many ideas into this film. And again, I gotta hand it to Muschietti for keeping the structure of the film in place. I never felt like any moment was not a part of the story, if that makes sense, but still may have been kind of unnecessary to throw in there, almost as if I was already watching the director's cut of the film, and I just feel like this movie would have been better home entertainment than it was as a theater watch, because it does feel like they gave Andy Muschietti a ton of freedom to just kind of throw in a lot of ideas, or this is actually a studio's mess. But I genuinely feel like this is one of those moments that the studio should have interfered with the film, as much as I complain usually that they shouldn't, and I hate when they do. I do feel like a couple of the characters' journeys are unfortunately bland. As good as the performances are from each actor and actress in this film, there are some bland story arcs that really don't seem to go anywhere. Again, Bill Hader as Richie and James Ransone as Eddie are fantastic in their roles, and I think it elevates them even more that they actually had great stories. The third and final hour of this film to me is extremely epic, with the exception of one thing, and it's that same thing in the first hour of the film that kind of carries over to the last hour. And again, I won't give it away, I just could not buy it. But I thought that the action was epic. It's where the movie looks its best. It's a very visually stunning movie, and I really liked where the characters ended up in this final hour, and I think that it was kind of action-packed and a little bit epic at times, and I really did enjoy where that went. Now, just because I have a lot of things that I gripe about with this movie in particular does not mean I think Andy Muschietti should stop directing or anything like that. I think that he took some risks, he took some shots, not all of them paid off, but I have to respect him for doing it, and you get a whole lot of movie out of this. And I think watching this from home could benefit the experience, because again, it does feel like a director's cut, and it's just kind of like you're watching extra scenes in a way that maybe you don't need, but they're there. So it's cool for a fan of this franchise. Myself personally, I just think it became very muddled right there in the middle, and I'm sad about it because I love that first film so much, and this one was slightly disappointing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, the thing I will say about this is it still has more character development, and it's more of a character-driven story than a lot of the cash grab horror films that you'll go and see, and I have to admire that on some level. And I think that, again, a lot of this does pay off, and a lot of it does not. I think that the scares are there, and they're pretty good for the most part. Not all of them were effective, but I'd say about 85% of them were. And that's a good thing going into a horror film. And I enjoy how much I care about these characters. I just don't need to see so many moments of their journey. And I feel like I got too much of that crammed into what shouldn't be a short amount of time, but it really did feel that way. There is one thing at the end of this film involving the character of Stan, and I won't give that away, but it's causing a lot of controversy. For me, I liked it from a writing perspective. Again, it was another one of those things that kind of tacked onto the runtime, and I don't know if I needed it for that reason, but from a choice, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought it was a decent character choice, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So at the end of the day, It Chapter 2 was a bit disappointing for me, and that sucks, but hey, there were a lot of great shots taken here that just didn't pay off, and I can appreciate the risk taking. I will at least give It Chapter 2 a C+. Guys, thank you for watching this review of It Chapter 2. I've been Dom Martino. This has been a review by Dom. If you want to continue to support this channel, please hit that subscribe button below, hit the like button below, leave some comments in the feedback section. I do appreciate that very much. Be civil down there, please. Leave a like, share this with your friends, whatever you got to do. I appreciate that a lot. I've been Dom Martino, and this has been a review of It Chapter 2, and I will see you guys next time.